Welcome back to another episode of On the Delo. This is 175. I am still cruising along, and I still don't know what I'm doing. I've got my good buddy Jeremy Scott Fitness in the house. This is, what is this, number 3 or 4 for you?
Yeah, I've been here a couple times.
Okay, a few times, right? Yeah. I think it's been a while, though, so we got some shit to catch up on, dude.
Yes, sir.
Couple things, just housekeeping. As you know, I sell insurance. I sell a lot of it. If you need it, give me a call. It's real simple, right? And if you need any connections in the industry, however that may be, let me know about that as well. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And then we also, Jeremy, we'll talk about it a little bit today. We do have our Built Different group community. We're going to be doing a little bit of a pivot in a good way to allow some more and more people to get involved. And we also have a new course that we have recorded, the 6-figure course, and that is done. That is available for purchase, but we're going to have a whole release thing to go with that. So it should be, I'm very excited to get that going along with some other stuff we're going to be filming. So I wanted to bring Jeremy back in today. Well, a couple of things has changed about Jeremy. He kind of has a different look to him. It's a tired look, not because he's old, but because he's a dad now.
And I'm old, yeah.
And he's old, yeah.
But yeah,
you just turned 42.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
42 next week. I remember 42. Oh wow.
Banner year.
Banner year. Yes, yeah. And I wanted to get into, obviously my podcast is a lot focused on everything hospitality, insurance, all that sort of stuff. And I really wanted to get into the health and wellness aspect of things that we can do as hospitality people to better our relationships with health and to be able to further our careers, and also talk about healing hospitality, the 501c that I've created, the events, and how this can all work in. So what better of a guest than to bring a fitness guru, a fitness Michael Jordan.
Here we are. Jordan from the Wizards at this point.
Jordan from the Wizards. So
still here.
All right, before we jump into this, what you been doing the last year?
I mean, I got a kid, so there's that. Yeah. 4 months, what is it, 15? They go by weeks, in the kid world. So what is this week? It'd be week 16? Yeah. 16 or 17? Yeah. So it's a lot. Was it
a battle to get the name Brock? Because I know that's got to be your decision.
No. Like, so I'll do it really fast. We, Heather would I basically let things just happen at my house. Most things will work themselves out. I don't know everybody's marriage and relationship, but most arguments and things will just naturally work themselves out if you don't engage in it at all. So she would be like, hey, what do you like for boy names? And I think I pick maybe I'll pick 3 or 4 off the top. And then every week she would just add 10 names to this list. And I just stopped saying stuff. And I'll mess with her too. And she would send names, and these aren't the real names, but it'd be like, hey, name your kid Reiki or Shadow or something. And I'm like,
Shadow.
I'm like, if your kid sells insurance in 40 years and his name's Shadow, he's an asshole. No one's going to go for that. So I think right off the top, Brock was in the first mix, and she's like, oh yeah, I really like that one. But then would just tack on 80 more names. And then I just stopped replying to the notes on the phone. And then when it came down to it, it's like, yeah, dude, we only really agree on one name, so this is what it's going to be. So we could have just picked it day one, but she she goes on Instagram and Pinterest and popular names. I'm like, you don't want to do that, dude.
Process of elimination, right?
Yeah.
It goes right back to the original.
It'll work itself out.
It's kind of like fitness in the essence that everybody's looking for some sort of cure to, good nutrition. And it's the same stuff it's been for years.
Yeah. I mean, you can get fancy with things and you can deviate as much as you want. But at the end of the day, any dietitian, any nutritionist, any fitness person, who has any sense in their brain, it's protein, produce, and water. It's just, you're eating real food. I mean, I literally, the other day we had a doctor come in he'll come on my podcast. He does a lot of stem cell, bone marrow, PRP, a lot of really regenerative stuff, really kind of advanced, cutting edge. And even for him, the one thing he's when people come in, he's like, if they want to be part of this program, they can't vape or smoke. We won't take them if they do. They can't drink alcohol, and then their diet has to be an anti-inflammatory diet. And I'm like, what does that look like? And him and his wife, without skipping a beat, replied, we'll just eat real food. You know, that's really what it comes down to. And that's the base of everything. Now, if you want to go like keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, all those protocols are fine.
Yeah.
They really work all the same for the most part. But if you're not eating real food most of the time, it really doesn't matter what else you're doing. But people search for, oh, this is this magic diet that my friend Cindy did. And it's like, well, she might have done it for 60 days, but what are the odds of her making it the next 16 years doing that? And that's kind of what we focus on.
That's and that's a good point. First of all, Shadow Scott would be a great name for a kid, honestly.
Yeah, or like Legend. Like your kid's name is Legend. But then if they suck at like everything, it's like your name's Legend, but you're a turd.
But you're horrible. So to your point on the foods, veganism, I had tried it for a year, and my wife will laugh at this because it's exactly what had happened. The protocols of doing certain things, like you said, are fine. But when I did veganism, I was looking for excuses to eat like crap and then disguising it as healthy because I'm quote unquote vegan, right? So I would go get those tamales or the vegan shortcake, and there was like, too many ingredients in it. It wasn't real food.
Yeah, and a lot of those, like, again, it's like you're not I'm saying this as a joke, but a lot of these like vegetarians become like carbitarians, where essentially they're just eating like crackers and cookies and shit because that is vegan, and there's no judgment here. Like, eat any way that you like, but the reality is if you could only eat one thing, it probably would be meat in all reality, like a steak or something, just because it does have vitamins and minerals and the amino acids and the essential fats. Like, those are things you need to be alive. And again, there's nothing wrong with eating plants all day, but if you're going to do that, then you really just eat plants.
Yeah.
But disguising it is like, well, because then you can eat gluten-free and paleo, and you can eat carnivore too, same thing. Like, and if you just eat ribeyes and eggs and cheese all day, like, dude, it's a rough go. Like, there's just, you can overeat and make bad choices any style, no matter what it is.
And I know for you, because I know you very well personally, you just don't eat until nighttime, right?
Yeah, I mean, that works for me.
Yeah.
Like, I tell people it's not, and every personality type is different too. So you have to know yourself. Like, what are your goals? What is your schedule genetically? Like, what are you into? What do you like? And what makes you feel the best? Like, for me, eating every 3 hours, I never felt, first of all, I'm obviously going to be 42. My goal when I was younger was different. Like, let me just get to be 230 pounds or whatever. And I get there and I'm like, that's not really a place where my body wants to live.
Yeah.
And the digestive stress that goes into that and the constant eating, I would feel like lethargic and bloated. I just didn't feel great. I feel better doing this. For most people, they'd be too hangry. They'd be too tired. It wouldn't work for them. They don't like to eat as much in one sitting. Like, let's say that I do. And also, like, I can operate in what I do on basically just like electrolytes, water, and a shit ton of caffeine. That's how I like to do it. Now, there's days obviously where I'm hungrier earlier than later, and I can move things. But to do this, like what I do for a living, it fits my personality type, and I'm willing to be like hungry and like kind of tired for like really long periods of time, and it doesn't bother me like I know it will bother my wife or other people like that. Obviously, I coach.
Yeah, and I ask you all this for a reason. I guess when we look at hospitality and we look at going out to eat and we look at like the challenges that that people have a lot of times, and you talk about the one ingredient thing. I mean, what would you attribute to being some of the most challenging aspects of going out to eat for people?
I mean, it's tough if you do it like I do it it's like a social thing. It's a social lubricant. It's a gathering. It's to get with friends. Like, rarely do my wife and I just go out to eat by ourselves.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, we have a newborn kid at home, so it's a different thing. Not that you can't do it when you do that, but we do so much of it socially or like on vacation. And then if I go somewhere, for the most part, I'm just gonna kind of get whatever I want because I do it so infrequently. If it was part of my like job or routine, like when people are like, hey, can I take you to lunch? I'm like, no, but we can get coffee or we can do whatever. It's just, it's easier for me that way. It's ordering things that kind of fit your goals and like if you're tracking macros and foods that make you feel good versus like what you just want to eat in the moment. Because if you're doing that 2 or 3 times a week, every week for 52 weeks, you're like, man, it's 150 to 60 meals per year, plus all of like the vacations and the travel and stuff you do. Like, the calories do start to add up, and it's really hard to know what you're eating at a restaurant. Even food labels can be off. Even the FDA allows like up to 20% on labeled stuff. And so a restaurant is obviously going to be even beyond that. So you really just have to go in, like obviously before you go, like look at a menu, kind of research what you're going to do and make a decision of putting some guardrails in place. The reason if I eat one meal per day, the reality is it's really hard to fuck that up because it's just one time.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about 4 meals a day.
You can only eat so much probably in that one sitting.
Yeah,
right?
and you have like decision fatigue sometimes when you're eating 4 or 5 times per day, especially like when you're at restaurants, it's almost like too many choices. So when you go in there, it's like, hey, if I'm going to eat on a Wednesday, I'm going to stick to my normal kind of diet. So whether that be, like just getting a fish or chicken or a steak versus nachos or tater tots or whatever the hell people get at restaurants, and just like look at the plate and like say, is this mostly real food? It's probably still tastes better than what you make at home, but it's within reason versus just let's say you're someone on like a fat loss, weight loss journey and you're going to these places consistently, you can crush your entire week in a single meal. Like you go to a place, I'm not going to say a restaurant, but you go to some of these places and it's like you have a 3,000 calorie meal, which is not insanely hard to do, especially if you're a person who can eat within reason. Now it's like that one meal put you in like this surplus for the week, and that might be the reason you're not losing weight week after week. And so the other 6 days might be awesome, but that 7th day just really like kind of sabotages all your results.
Yeah, and so I would assume like over your time in fitness and what you've done, you've trained people that have been in the hospitality or are in the hospitality business, whether it's chefs or owners or stuff like that.
For sure.
Okay. And so when we're talking to that sort of audience, which is, a lot that listen, even I have a lot of insurance people, probably Rick, the insurance agent's, listening right now.
Good guy.
Don't worry, Heather's safe. So when you're talking to these people, and let's just start with the hospitality people that are working in there, they're working on the line. They're, what are the things that they could do to, how do I say, mitigate some of that, or offset some of the, unhealthiness that goes on in the restaurant? You're working in a high-paced environment. There's a lot of stress. You're picking stuff off the line. I mean, I would have to assume it'd be like bring your own snacks to work, really just kind of monitor what you do.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to like be in that environment, it would be obviously much more difficult than obviously what I do because I can control my own ecosystem. But in a lot of ways, you guys can too. It's just like in the building I work in, there is no food. So if I need to eat something, I have to go get it. It would be harder if I was sitting in front of it all day. But knowing that, I would tell most people, like when you go to bed at night, you should know what you're going to eat the next day. You should already kind of know like what times you're probably going to eat and about how many meals you're going to eat and really what makes up those meals. And I know this is not a sexy answer, but eating the same shit routinely is just easier to do. It's way less to mess up. You don't get decision fatigue and you just go to work. And so it's like, hey, if I'm going to eat at 10, it's, I bring my beef jerky and hard-boiled eggs and my pack of blackberries, and that's my snack. And then I made my lunch for me too. And if you have to grab something at work, most grown adults understand what a good choice is and a bad choice is. And if you're really confused, like remember this forever, it's just like a protein and like a fruit or a vegetable. And that's fine. And how much, it doesn't matter. Like you're not really going to overeat on those things. So if you work somewhere and they have like chicken or fish or steak, grab some vegetables, grab some fruit, and just call that the snack. If the food you brought is already gone or like something went haywire, I would do that. And I would kind of know like I'm going to only eat at these times. And if you can bring your own stuff, obviously that's the most control you can have.
Yeah. Really treat the job like a job and not like a place to just kind of.
Because it's like, again, if you don't care what you look like or how you feel or how big or small you get, then sure, you can kind of eat. It's like what little boys do or little girls even. It's like kids kind of just do things that feel good in the moment. And adults like do things that they're responsible and they can delay gratification for later on. And it sucks, dude. Trust me. Like there's days where I would rather go home and just eat a pizza for sure.
Yeah.
But if I do that consistently, I'm not going to look and move and feel the way that I want to. And for a lot of you guys, if you're trying to make an initial change, the first week or two is going to be probably the hardest because you're doing this Herculean effort to make a change and nothing's really happening. You look the same, you kind of feel the same, you're just kind of hangry and pissed off. And not because you're really hungry, but you're just not eating what you want in the moment. And that's that is a behavior modification. That's the older you get, the harder it is to do.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I wrote a note here to ask about the short term feeling, and then the long term feeling. And for me, when I look at it from my way of reference, there was always this short term quote unquote satisfaction of eating a whole pizza and meatballs and like all the stuff like you've seen me eat before. You're just like, what?
It's impressive.
Yeah. But the fact of the matter is I would go to bed with night sweats and then I would be regretting it the next 2 days because it was just a little too much, even though I felt like I had, quote unquote, earned it. So, it's a matter of just understanding that short term effect can have some bearing on your long term effect, and to feel, not saying that you can't have fun and you can't go out and do those things, but I know people get sick of hearing it, but it's like just everything in moderation and knowing where that balance is. Because there is a line that you go a little bit over and then you hit that, those night sweats and it's like, God, I put on 5 pounds last night and you feel like crap for a whole week. And is it worth it?
And I think a lot of people just forget like what feeling good is like because it has been so long, and it's tough to get out of that cycle. But if you can do it for a handful amount of days or 10 days or 2 weeks consistently, you will start to feel different. And again, I don't think we talk about enough, like it's how you feel when you sleep, when you wake up, like how you go to the bathroom, like how much energy you have. The food you eat does all that stuff. It's every cell of your body. So like how your hair, skin, nails grow, how much muscle you can build, how much fat you can lose. All that stuff comes from how we eat. And I want you to go out and like enjoy your meals and do things. But even when you do that, like do things that still make you feel good. There's certain stuff that I just don't go eat because it doesn't agree with my body.
Yeah.
Like whether it's like I don't digest it well, or I can't sleep when I eat it, or I have, heartburn or whatever it may be. It's like at some point you get tired of feeling like shit, and then you just make the change. And again, I wish I could give, how I physically feel, for the most part to every person that I work with. So they could be like, oh, like this is how you get so much shit done in a day, or this is how much energy you have. And again, it is hard to do consistently, obviously, because there's so many temptations out there. But when you can start to feel and see the results, you almost become addicted to it. And it's like, even when you start to make, your cheats, or you go out to dinner, even then you're still kind of making a conscious, better choice, because you're just like, yeah, it's not, yeah, that pizza's great, and I can eat, you can eat a whole pizza, but you don't have to eat 2 pizzas, or whatever your baseline limit is.
I know we're nitpicking here, but just out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on, people that want to say have a cookie, every other night with some ice cream, as opposed to having that, that one big meal of debauchery? Does it all really matter?
No, I mean, it's personality type. Like I have friends that can eat, like if it's like those, what are they, the nothing bundt cakes that aren't really big. Yeah. I got like a buddy who can eat half of one and just put it in the fridge, and that's super impressive. Like I think that's like, you're a psychopath. Like I would never just eat half of one. But if it works for your macros and your calories and your goals, I think it's probably, for a lot of people, it's a healthier approach. If you're the type of guy who could eat a piece of pizza a day, I think that's awesome. Or if you can eat again, when you're talking like calories in, calories out, because at the end of the day, that's pretty much like that's your energy balance, whether you're in a deficit or a surplus, if you can or can't lose weight or lose fat. And if you're eating something that's like 300 calories, like a real ice cream sandwich or something, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're give or take 200 or 300 calories. A lot of these people are eating like, protein bars or these other, health food items that are the same amount of calories. And now the ingredients aren't the same for sure, but at the end of the day, like you're pretty much going to look the same no matter which one you eat. So it's like you could swap your protein bar and actually eat real ice cream at night, and it's a wash, and like you'll be just fine if you're the type of person who can control yourself. Yeah. Eating just a little bit of ice cream versus like an entire pint, obviously.
Yeah, like a perfect bar is like 280 calories or 320 just for one of those bars.
Yeah, and you could eat like there's like legit ice cream sandwiches that are like real ice cream that are like 210 calories. Yeah. So, and I know that sounds crazy, but like you could eat your protein bar every day, or you could eat an ice cream sandwich every day, and at the end of 60 days, you'll be, if all things are even, you'll weigh less and be leaner by eating ice cream versus your protein bar over 60 days, which is, again, it's hard for people to wrap their mind around, but that's a reality too.
That's if you're just looking at the calorie intake as opposed to, again, going back to the real ingredients.
The ingredients, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would say to wrap this portion up, it's like you want to just be able to live the best life that you can, feeling good and doing all that and not looking at it like dieting, you know?
No, we always tell people, Mike, find a lifestyle that's sustainable for you. Because people would historically would ask, like, hey, because I'm getting older and I pretty much look the same as I have for the last, I don't know, for like 15 years within reason. And it's not a lifestyle most people would want to live. It's not an eating style that they would want. Now, it works for me for sure. But if I give you what I do and you do it for a week and like, oh man, this sucks. Like, you're never going to make it the long haul, especially when like things go sideways or you get stuck in traffic or it's busy at work or you're on vacation. That's why we always preach like the lifestyle piece of it, because even people who are fit, like consistently, when we travel and go places, it's not like we just say fuck it and eat whatever all day and just sit by the pool and have 20 drinks. It's just not something you do because you're not willing to feel like shit. And one, it's like you work so hard in between, you'll enjoy yourself in the way that you do. And I know people get hung up on this. It's like, well, just you got to live a little bit. I understand that, but the side of it, like we don't talk about in fitness, is like I don't get out of the shower or I don't go somewhere, or I don't put clothes on. And I'm like, oh man, I hate how I look.
Yeah.
I hate how I feel. Like that comes with the enjoy yourself all the time aspect of it too. So there is a line there, and I don't know where to draw it for people, but you have to make it something that seems like it's sustainable. Now, there's little sprints you'll do and you'll eat differently for certain windows. You want to look good for your wedding and that type of shit. But for the most part, just finding something you can do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all the time within reason, even when you travel, pick your spots and really just make it worth it, and understand, like, my opinion is most people enjoy their shit way too much. Obviously, if you look at most Americans are overweight. I mean, 40% are actually obese. And that's not a judgment thing. It's just those are facts and stats, and it's not a healthy place to be. So I think if you looked at just the holidays alone and your travel schedule alone, if you just mapped out those days per year, you're probably already at like 30, 40 plus days of you eating and drinking like shit. And then if you take into account like a Super Bowl and it's a friend's anniversary and those things, you have another 20 days. So now there's 2 months out of the year. And those days just really start to add up if you're not kind of mindful of them, and then just, hey, it's a random Thursday, I'm just going to eat 6,000 calories. And that's the kind of the creepy obesity that gets most people, even friends of mine who maybe I played sports with in college who are like, just the fittest dudes. They're just savages. And now it's, shit, we're 20 years later and they gain 2-3 pounds a year every year over 20 years. And it's like now they got an extra 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds in their body. And that's really where it kind of catches up with people.
Yeah, and so today you're wearing a shirt called it's Die Shredded, which I subscribe to that. I'm type A. I have issues. I'm 51. I would have to venture to say most people that know me, I'm in better shape than most 50-year-olds. Whatever, right? That's just kind of my mantra. That's what I enjoy. But at the end of the day, that's not a reality for most people, especially if you're in sales or if you're in the restaurant business. I mean, so
it's not necessary either.
It's not necessary, right? So what do you like? What is an avatar of just and I don't want to call it an average person. Everybody is very much, a unique person in their own sense. But somebody that's working, 60 hours a week, and I mean, what does that avatar look like?
I mean, it's all the goals. For me personally, and like we have basic metrics, we try to have people, we made like an old man strength program where it has like metrics for people to kind of base the standard off of. Obviously, these are people who like want to be a certain level of fitness and train. But if your body fat is in like a healthy range for most people, for most dudes, like 10 to 20%. Now, obviously, that's a huge range. 10% is extremely hard for most guys to get to, damn near impossible for most dudes who are older. And then if you're at 20%, that's probably like the upper echelon. But what I would say is if you're in that healthy range, that's a good place to start. And then any number from like 20% down is just a vanity metric. It's just like based on how you feel in your own skin. And there's like certain strength standards like you guys should hold yourself accountable to. Like, can you do a handful of pull-ups? Like, can you do, 15 push-ups? Like, can you carry your own body weight, for a minute in terms of farmer's carries? Like, can you do a body weight squat? Can you get off the ground by yourself? Like, those are like real applicable, important things in my opinion. And then from there, you kind of just drill down to, can I, play with my kids? Can I run for a mile without stopping? Can I hike a mountain? And how do I look? Like, do I feel confident in my own skin? Now, short of you having like a body dysmorphia, like somebody like myself who's obviously like has issues, but if you feel good and if you don't, you can work on those things specifically to kind of drill down on those. But that's what I would say for most people is like just be in a healthy body fat range, like more so than like just the overall weight, because that can be deceiving. If you want to drill down, you could do like a DEXA scan and kind of get your bone density and your visceral fat to see like those are the real like kind of health important numbers. But I would do that first. And obviously, like if you guys are listening, like get your blood work done, like, you know, at least probably once a year at the most, but I would say twice would be probably ideal for you guys, just to kind of get and not that you have to do anything with the information, but just so you know, like, hey, my hormones are here, my, you know, my T3, my thyroid is here, here's where my, you know, lipids are, just like really baseline stuff.
Yeah, check under the hood as well. And you know what's funny? As you know, my wife is training with Ben, and you know Ben was doing his blood test, and he was telling my wife that he was putting his results in the Chat GPT, and it was literally explaining to him. So it's like you can actually not be so overwhelmed by what you see and get some legit, like, you know, explanations on what's going on now in this time and age. It's a trip.
Oh yeah, I mean you can. I mean I've been doing it long enough to where most of the stuff, like obviously, like for us, like we go get blood work done. It'll pop in your LabCorp. I'll get the results before my doctor will, or even at the same time. But I can look and I'm like, anything that's off, like I can plug it in. Obviously, you're not a doctor, but in the reality is too, if you're already doing all the right steps, sometimes those are just numbers to have.
Yeah.
Like where if like, hey Jeremy, your cholesterol's high or this is high, I'm like, I'm not going to do anything different. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm already doing all the things. But if you're not, those are indicators of, okay, hey, maybe you're eating too many French fries, or you're doing like, it just gives you a baseline to play off of. Otherwise you're kind of out there trying to drive across the country with like no GPS, which is it's really hard to improve your health markers if you have no idea where they are.
Well, look, if you own your own business, you know, a restaurant or any other business, if you're in sales, I mean, we all have to do taxes. We do a lot of them, right? I mean,
Sucks.
do you not track what it is that you have to pay the government? Because we'd all like to pay a little bit less. Why wouldn't you track what's going on with, you know, inside of your body, right? Until it's too late.
It's weird because like they never taught anybody this, and they didn't put an importance on it. Yet obviously I'm biased, but it's the most important thing. Like if your body sucks, like if you just don't feel good and things aren't running, and I'm not a fan of like, oh, it's all in range. I'm in like an optimal fan. Like everything's in the middle. Like I don't want to be just normal. I'm like, just let me run on as much high octane as I can. Yet we'll track all these other arbitrary things and sit. And again, this is me judging right now, but you'll sit on, you know, fucking Netflix for 4 hours a week, and you'll scroll Instagram for 27 minutes a day, and you'll do all this worthless shit, in my opinion. And now escapism is real. You have to have it. And there's a mental piece of it. However, if you're doing that and then you're like, well, I can't figure out why I'm not healthier and I really can't, you can learn about all the same things if you're just focused, but you have to care about it. Most people, if you look at like where you spend your time and you spend your money, like that's really what you focus on. So you have to be just really diligent about it. You don't have to be neurotic, but at some point you kind of have to know where you're starting to kind of figure out where you want to go.
Yeah, no, that's really good advice and input for everybody. I want to get into because we're talking about hospitality, and as most people know, I have not had a drink in 11 years. I just decided one day to quit. I was 40 years old, and that's what worked for me. Again, no judgment on people that drink. I make a lot of money off of the alcohol business, and protecting those that serve alcohol. And so be it. So when we're looking at just booze in general for people, and again, this is also in sales. A lot of the socialization is about going to the bar and having a drink and all that sort of thing. Is there how would you explain to people how booze can have a very adverse effect on you if you're doing too much of it at the time? But also, I know that you have a mindset as well to Jeremy will have a drink every now and then. And so he, again, just like his food, he balances that as well. But not everybody's Jeremy and not everybody can, stop at that sort of thing. So how do people kind of, work within the realms of being healthy, but also being able maybe to drink a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, everyone obviously is different. There's some people who they're better when they do drink. It's just it's a fact of life. Like I have a lady, she does everything perfect. She does nothing wrong other than she drinks wine every night.
Yeah.
It's her one thing. And I think if she stops doing it, does she become slightly more fit? For sure. Over time,
right.
She makes like a small incremental change in terms of like how lean she is, or maybe her performance is, and maybe she sleeps like a tad better, although she has no sleeping issues and those types of things. But if you take it away from it, now it's like her one kind of escapism thing is gone, or the way that she socializes with her friends is gone. And that's like kind of she gets a lot of enjoyment from that. And now you can talk about, well, you can enjoy it without it. For sure you can. But also I could live without coffee too, but it would fucking suck. Right. Yeah. Like I've tried to do it. It's not fun. I don't really care. Like the trade-offs are not worth it from the benefits that I see. Yeah. I think that's with booze too. And if you pick your spots and you do it smart, it can be done. Like the reality is you'll always be in better shape without it. Like everything in your life will just physically, for the most part, is going to be better without it than with it. But also, like, I don't think you're going to see a noticeable difference if you drank a beer or two every day for an entire year and everything else you did was amazing. I don't really see like you really noticing that change whether you did or didn't, because it's just like it's minimal damage for most people. And so I would say obviously every day is not ideal. If you want to do it socially, sure, but put it again, same thing. Like if you put guardrails in place in your life, it makes life a lot easier. So hey, I eat this Monday through Friday. Saturday, I go out and I do whatever you want to do, and then you get right back to your normal routine. It's those types of things. Like, so if I go drink, for me personally, I used to be the guy, drink, fucking 20 beers and headbutt the wall and piss your pants type shit in college. Like I think a lot of people did. And I didn't drink for a long period of time. And there's still gaps now where I don't drink for 6 months at a time or 7 months. I don't really think about it. I don't do it at home on my own. But if I go for us, usually if it's out to dinner, a beer or two would be like the most. Yeah. Like for me personally, if I see my best friend like once a year, and he'll drink like 2 to 1 for me. So if I had like 3 beers, because he's already at like 5 or 6, I try not to make him feel terrible about himself. Like that would be the max for me, just because like I don't feel good beyond that. And not that like the alcohol itself, and I'm like, it is so much liquid, it's so much volume, it's bloating, it's those types of things. And so as long as you know who you are, like set those limits in place. But if you can't hold yourself to that, then it's like you're better off not drinking in certain circumstances where, those people who go and say, I'm only going to have 1 drink, and then 6 drinks later, here they are. So it's like, it really comes down to your personality and who you are. But I would say if you can get rid of it in your day-to-day life, especially on the days where you are going and like you're training super hard and you're eating really well, it just kind of, it slows down. Well, it actually stops fat loss altogether. There's no protein synthesis. Really nothing's happening in your body until the alcohol is kind of out of your system. So if you're doing that for, hundreds and hundreds of hours a week, that's hundreds of hours your body can't burn fat. Right. If you're the type of person who has too many drinks and that leads you to making more poor choices with food, the kind of, avalanche effect happens in a negative way for you.
Yeah, and it also screws up your sleep patterns, which sleep is huge, especially as you get older.
And so it's like
have a kid.
Yeah, and your hormones are off at that point. Like, so it's like, again, you have to really know and be honest with yourself. I have a lot of people who, if they would quit drinking, it would drastically improve their results and how they feel and how they sleep. And they know that deep down, but it's like you're just not willing to admit because you enjoy the buzz of it or the feeling of it or the social aspect of it too much.
Yeah. No, that's good info. So if you could give advice to people listening and say that they need to go out a few times a week, or they're in the restaurant business and they want to go to certain places, actually let me rearrange this question now I think about it. Let's just say Jeremy and his group of friends, they make money, they want to go find a place that they can count on a weekly basis. What would you tell like a restaurateur would be an amazing dish to have on their menu?
I mean, for me, it's like, I'm a Midwest dude. So it's like if you can go and get something where it's like the protein is relatively high in the meal. Yeah. And like whether it's the vegetables or starches and things, like just complement like around it. So like you remember like not here so much in Scottsdale. I mean, maybe there's a place. It's probably like more like the cheap ass chain places.
Sizzler.
But no. Like when you go, like when I'm a kid, like I didn't grow up in a Scottsdale. So like none of this shit here exists where I come from. But you go to like a steak place, but it'd be like you get a steak and like a vegetable and a potato, and it's all like one thing. Yeah. And typically in those places too, the steaks are bigger in portions. So you're getting 60, 70, 80 grams of protein in a sitting, and you're getting like those types of things I think are more beneficial. Like, because when I go out, if it is like I have to make a healthy choice, it's tough because I feel like I have to order so much food to kind of meet the macro requirements for me anyway.
Yeah.
As being like a bigger dude. But any of the places that have like, it's like a legit amount of like chicken and fish, like I don't want to say like the bowl type places, but they tend to be better for sure.
Do you feel that restaurants are getting a little bit more savvy or a little bit more open to all these, let's just say, alternative requests? So like no butter, no oil, or this and that. Like they're not having issues with it.
Yeah, I think in most places. But again, like when I go, like I would hate to do that. Like
Okay,
if I'm gonna go, like I just want to, like where do we go to? What's the place? It's the sushi place here in Scottsdale. Uchi, it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like we had a gift card from a friend. Otherwise, like I'm not going there.
Right.
No offense, it's just not my style.
Yeah.
But it's very fancy. It's like beyond, and it's not like your normal sushi place. It's not like a soy sauce and wasabi place. It's just like you get what you get, and I'm cool with that because like this is an experience. It's their thing. I'm not going to tell the chef like how the fuck he needs to cook the food.
Yeah.
Although like in my business, people do that with me, and I think people do it with a lot of places, which is, and it's fun. Again, you're the customer and it's what you want. But yeah, I think most restaurants are cool with doing that. And I think unless you have to, I don't know. I don't know that many people who are extremely fit who have to go do this consistently. And the ones who do have been, what I would say is this: if this is something you have to do for your life and you have to go places, you just have to master all your own shit when you're not at the restaurant. That'd be the easiest thing for me to tell you is when you're going to go to the restaurant, just kind of mark it as like, it's a neutral choice, but it's not a great choice. And it's not I don't want to say like it's not a negative one, but it's not going to be as good as what you do at home. It's just you're not going to be able to control the ingredients and the oils and all the things and the volume. You just want and this is not a knock on the restaurants, but if I'm in a restaurant, I'm not going to buy, $15 dozen eggs. Like you're not getting Vital Farms organic eggs at most of these places. They can't fucking afford it.
They're a business. They're trying to make money.
Yes. And I understand that. So for me, I'm like, let me be awesome at my house on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If I'm going to go out, even if I make a good choice, I know it's a little bit more fat, it's a little bit more salt, it's a little bit more oil, and those things are okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of the mental stress out of it of you being there and being like, oh my God, what if they put this and that? It's just ridiculous. And then
it sucks, dude.
Yeah, I think the advice on this is just go out to eat, enjoy it, don't worry about it, but also try not to be an asshole.
Yeah, and again, it's like they're trying to do the best that they can, obviously, and they do the things the way that they do it. And it's sometimes like looking at the menu ahead of time and understanding like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to get a chicken salad, but if it's caked in, a shit ton of dressing and croutons and all these things, I'm like, you might have been better off, dude, just eating like a legit steak and like French fries or a protein wrapped like burger or something, or even just eating the fucking burger. Like, cause again, sometimes the calories are so minimal. It's how I look at a lot of things like, hey, well, if I eat this, it's 800 calories and I really don't like it. But if I eat this one, it's 950 calories and I really like it. I'm like, at the end of the day, like what the fuck is 150 calories?
Right.
I would say if that's your choice is like, just increase your activity, like walk a little bit more, move a little, if you're really concerned about that type of stuff.
Yeah, for me, it's an overindulgence thing. It's like, one is good, but two is better. So it's, I think that's what I mean when I say don't be an asshole. It's not to the staff, but to yourself, in the aspect of like, I'm just going to eat, 2 desserts now after that.
Well, it's tough because it's like, especially if you're the person who like, you deprive yourself for so long, like that's kind of what happens. Where if you allow a little bit of flexible dieting is the actual term. Like if you allow, and I do more of that now, probably more than ever, where I can enjoy some little things like throughout the week because I have an amount of self-control that I didn't have, let's say like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Where then I don't feel like I have to eat like an asshole as much like on a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, no, makes sense. All right, couple other things before I let you go here. I want to talk about movement at work. And again, one of the focuses of this podcast is about healing hospitality. And I've had this charity going for 3 years now. We've done everything. We had Certified Health Nut do a Qigong in the park, right? I had the Boone brothers came. It was fun. Your mom came.
It's quite the trio.
That's right. We did that. We've done meditations. We've done yoga nidra. We're doing sound baths. We have a whole series of sound baths where you just go and you take a nap for an hour, and it's like the greatest nap you'll ever have with all these sounds. Yeah, it's really cool. And we're doing more and more events, but as we get into helping more and more people in the hospitality arena, because I don't feel that there is a group or a community or an avenue for them to be able to come to, and that's what we're creating. One of the aspects of that, what I do want to get into and offer as a class or an online mechanism, which we're gonna, we'll talk about later. But I want to link up your app to Healing Hospitality and be able to buy, memberships for people that are interested and stuff like that. But I want to talk about because you talk about a lot of this, and especially recently, now that you're old, about the movement and the mobility aspect of it, and how important it is and how easy it can be for these people in hospitality to do 10, 15 minutes a day to, make their job easier. Because you gotta imagine, they're picking up ice buckets, they're picking things up off the ground, they're sweeping floors, they're running back and forth, they're on their feet all day. So
yeah, I mean, the reality is, like, nobody has to go to a gym if you don't want to. Like, you don't have to do exercise in the way that we prescribe it. If your goal is specific, then yeah, certainly you do. But for a lot of people, and if you think about it, we're the only mammals that don't do any movement prep before we start our day.
Yeah.
Like, even your dog will do the basics before you take it for a walk. You'll just get up out of bed and just kind of speed through the day.
That's what downward dog is.
Yeah. It's legit. And it's like you as a human, you can do the same stretch and you can build, 14 pieces on it. But you should have that. Like, my opinion is, like, you should be able to wake up and, can I hang from a pull-up bar? Can I get my body into a deep squat? Can I do some type of, like, Spider-Man step variation? Can I get myself into, full hip extension? Just really basic things to kind of prep your body and, like, a check-in throughout the day. And then obviously all the non, like, fitness activity that we call it, where can I steal 2 minutes of mobility here, where it's like, yeah, I can, put my toes up on the curb while I pump gas and, like, stretch my hamstring, or excuse me, like, stretch my calves and my Achilles and my soleus, and, like, can I reach down and touch my toes, stretch my hamstrings, like, these really basic things that people just aren't doing throughout the day. Like, we literally make a program, it's called microdosing mobility. It's like a 5-minute little rip per day. That's huge for people, and just, like, really just setting an intention and setting a clock for, hey, I'm going to do 10 minutes of exercise today. I think when you look at it, sometimes it becomes so daunting for people of, like, what it is. Oh, I got to hurry home, put my workout outfit on. I got to do whatever with my kids. I got to get in my car, drive to the gym. I got to do 4 sets of 6 different exercises plus mobility. It's like, right. No, you don't have to do any of that shit. It could be just, if you're a gym person, you could just show up and, like, can I just do one hard set of, like, 4 exercises? And that's fucking it. Or it's like, I got 10 minutes. It's like, can I just do 10 push-ups every minute on the minute for 10 minutes? Or can I do 10 squats 1 minute and 10 push-ups the next minute and just do that? That stuff compounding over time makes a huge difference in how you look and move and feel. And most of you are going to build on that as time goes on. Those numbers will increase. The weights will increase. But I would say it's on the days where you're not going to do anything, where you do those things, that end up having the biggest ROI in terms of how your body looks and moves and feels, especially as you get older, because you want to keep the strength, you want to keep the mobility. The key is, like, can I get off the ground by myself without having assistance? Like, what is my stability like? What is my overall strength like? And when you stop using those things, especially like the type 1 muscle fibers, your explosiveness, like how you sprint, most people beyond, like, 25 never sprint again the rest of their life. They never jump again. They never do all of these things. When you stop doing that, those skills go away, and you want to keep those for as long as possible.
Yeah, for sure. What about the mental aspect of things for people out there? How do you keep because, and we're not going to get into it. People can listen to your podcast, and I'll send a link to that. But, obviously you went through a lot of, mental and physical challenges, in your early 40s, which you're still in. But what advice would you give to people that mentally just can't seem to get there, or having some struggles as far as, family life or stuff like that? Now, I know you very well, and I know you're one that just basically holds your feelings, and, like, nobody would even know what's going on with you.
Just bury them real deep.
You just bury them deep or whatever. But, talking to the average, man or woman out there that doesn't do that, what would be some advice for them?
Yeah, like, again, like, I'm not whatever you guys need to do, like, obviously go do that. I'm not a therapy type guy. I know a lot of people have great success with that. I don't think a lot of people, and again, this is coming from a fitness dummy in a warehouse. I don't think a lot of people need that shit. Sometimes it's just you need just whether it be like from your partner or your circle, not that you even need to share it, but just like they understand like you are on a journey of some kind. But I do think when you look at your overall life, like how much margin can you create in your life? And what I mean by that is look at your entire like existence. Like this is just my philosophical take on it. You come into the world with nothing and you're leaving with nothing. Like, so everything beyond that is a fucking bonus. Yeah. You can't even take a little box of shit with you when you die. So whether you're losing money right now or you're playing with house money, in my opinion. And I think when you look at your life, like what is my overall existence like? Like how happy am I with my job? Even if you like what you do, how much free time do you have? Because I think like we've gotten away from like, is your job cool and is your job fun? And then we just focus on like, how much money do we make? Like, and that's like a really kind of a crazy shift. It should be like, how not busy are you? Yeah. Like that's a super cool thing. And how much time are you spending doing things that like make you feel relaxed or actually make you feel good? And sometimes exercise can do the opposite. If you're someone like me who beats the fuck out of themselves, like it can be obviously like too much at times. But I think when you look at your day and it's like, you know, where am I living? Like, what kind of car am I driving? Like, what type of bills do I have? Like, can I make my life easier in a lot of other ways? Because I think a lot of times when you stop for a second and you stop like working essentially like in your life and you can work on your life, you're like, you know what? Do I really need this, you know, these bills anymore? Do I really need this house? Do I really need this car? Do I have to be working this way, the way that I did 15 years ago? Like, do I want to be doing this with my kids and my family? You know, am I spending enough time like on myself? Whether it's like you're learning jujitsu or guitar or it is fitness or something like that. I think as adults, we stop playing for one.
Stop
like,
learning.
Yeah. And you stop doing cool shit. You start just, it's like, the example I gave is like last week we had my faucet at my house started to leak and shit. And it was like, I had to pull up part of my floor and stuff and whatever. And it was just being a fucking adult owning a home. And I'm like, $1,500 later, it's like, I'm done with it. And I'm like, I just spent $1,500 on like something that sucks. Yeah. Like it's not cool. It's not something fun. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you realize like you go through your whole week and you're like, man, I didn't play at all. Like I didn't play basketball. I didn't go play golf. I didn't go to the shooting range. I didn't do anything fun. I just did work shit and adult shit. And you're going to have those seasons of life. But then you kind of reverse it and you start to look at like, well, how much did I laugh today? And I will say like having a little kid at home, you will laugh way more because obviously like they laugh and they're fun and then they just do shit that drives you fucking nuts. And you have to, because if not, you'll fucking break down and probably start crying. But it's like, you got to look at your week and it's like, well, how many times did I laugh this week? Yeah. You know, did I get to watch a movie or listen to music or do something that you like? So I don't think a lot of people have like a healthy balance of that. And sometimes you just have to really like, there is something to be said about like, you just enjoy your hobbies too, where you can step away. And I've been guilty of this too, where I work an insane amount and I don't do some of the things that I like to do that are healthy for me. Because even if you're working in your business and you're in your job and you're doing things at a high clip and you're being quote unquote successful, you can still feel like stressed out. You can still feel like you have this sense of, I don't know if I guess it's like probably a form of anxiety where it's not like you feel anxious about like work stuff, but you just feel anxious in your own life. Like everything is on this breakneck timer and you're not getting to slow down. And that does manifest itself in physical ways for a lot of people too. Mental ways, obviously, as well. So just having a reset and then looking again, when you track stuff, you'll know. So it's like, hey, how many hours was I inside this work building this week? How many hours was I with people? How many hours was I on my fucking computer or my phone and then scrolling and looking at screen time and those things? So I think as those things have kind of escalated for us, you get less in touch with people. So it's way more scrolling, it's way less relationships, and you're not in nature as much. You're not in the places that make you feel good. And I think there's something to be said to be like really be methodical about mapping and planning that stuff out. Otherwise, it's like even if you're quote unquote successful, you can kind of grind yourself into the ground and there's no amount of like money or quote unquote success that will kind of make you feel the way that you need to feel.
No, very well said. And it's funny, I'm making notes and then you're just bringing up the subjects. But I mean, just going back to hobbies and playing. And, for me, I've always loved music. I even just listening to music, going back and listening to old tunes and, from the 70s and the 80s when you were a kid, and it refreshes those memories and just makes you feel alive again and happy. And the fact that we come into this world, like you said, with nothing, we leave nothing, and everything in between really is just to me, it's like a dream. And so as we get older, especially what I've learned is that when I get something that quote unquote is not the response that I'm thinking I need to see or that I want, it's really irrelevant, because in 5 minutes I'm going to forget about it anyways. And so to get so worked up and so stressed out and make my life miserable over what somebody else's, what they feel their value is, it makes no sense to me, So I'm a firm believer of own your own calendar. I schedule guitar lessons, every week at Thursday. My time with you on Sunday and Thursday is, awesome as well. I do calisthenics. And the thing is I still get my work done, right? Like, what is work? I want to make sure that the work that I'm doing while I'm doing it, I'm enjoying it to the max, right? Are there days I'm tired and I don't want to be? Yeah, of course. But I'm always doing the other things, the hobbies and the things that I love, because that's about living life, right? I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, again, if you're an entrepreneur out there and it's your own restaurant or it's your own agency or your own whatever, it's impossible, dude. I don't have an answer for you. It's insane, the shit that we do. Entrepreneurship in itself is insane because the failure rate is almost 100%. Like, very few of these things are going to live on beyond us. Yeah. And they're only living, like, again, my team is great and the people are great, but I'm under no disillusion of, like, if I was not there, the thing would fold like a fucking lawn chair within like probably 3 months. Because it's like it requires so much of us every day.
Yeah.
And if you don't set like some type of guardrail or boundary on your life for that, like, the business will swallow you up and you'll just work in it forever and forever and forever, because there's always phone calls and emails and content to create and people to follow up with. And so I do think, like, having some, and again, I'm probably the worst person to tell you this, but have like some type of like work-life balance for that. It's healthier for you. And what I'll say is, I've been doing this for, 15 years on my own, but I've been in fitness for 20 years now. It's like, the emails will always be there. The phone calls will always be there. And if they're not, then they weren't for you anyway.
Yeah.
And your family and your friends and yourself, really, you can't take a back seat, for these guys forever, and not every single day. So you have to just, like, and I think you're a better person if you go have some type of like escapism or hobby or some fulfillment outside of just this constant grind. Because when you get stuck in it every day, like, you care about it. So you get mad about little things that really, really don't matter. And it's like, now this guy who didn't do a deal, or they showed up late for work, or this distributor didn't do this. It's like, now you're letting that 2-minute gap steal 2 hours from your life or 2 days from your life. And that shit's not worth it, man.
No, it's not. And when you're looking at people in the hospitality industry, one of the things, like, my wife and I will go out for a really nice meal, right? One of those higher end sort of steakhouses, that sort of thing.
Yeah, Chili's or something.
Yeah, Chili's, right? Applebee's. and well, Sizzler, which just shut down their last location. I did that in one of my news segments. But anyways, we'll go there, and it's so cool to see the same people that are there. And trust me, we're not one of those people that goes like twice a week and ponies up. And no, it's maybe once every 2 months. And we will go, and 60 days later, the same people are working there. They know your name, or at least they know your face.
Yeah.
And to be present at your workplace, because I think for their reasoning, it could be a multitude of things, but obviously they're making good money too. I mean, when you're making, hundreds of dollars of tips on a steak
it's not bad
ticket, it's pretty cool. But even for the smaller restaurants, when you come in and you find this joy and you find the person behind the counter smiling, and it's all about the experience, it's all about the community, and it's all about those things. And that's why us as patrons will go back to these places, not just necessarily food quality, which helps, but it's also the atmosphere and the people that work there.
Oh yeah, no, if you can find good, I notice it now with most things. A lot of the coffee places I go to are the same ones, so I don't really say anything. I just go in and they know and order the same stuff.
They think you're the Terminator.
Yeah, which, again, like, it's early, I'm tired, I talk most of the day, and it's like, I don't want to be like, here's what I do, here's about me, like, I'm over that shit. But I do, there's like 2 days a week where I got to come here, well, there's 3 actually, but one of the days I go to work super early. Some days I'm at work like before 5, which sucks because there's really no new real coffee places open other than Starbucks.
Yeah.
But there's like, what is it? Is it Black Rock? Is it
Black Rock?
Is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there's one that's like on the way when I come from my house, and then I'll pop on the 101, and there's a girl who works there, and she's the nicest girl ever. Like so over the top. Now I don't want to say like not like Dutch Brothers over the top, but like she's like she's very polite. She remembers, what you drink.
Yeah.
She damn near almost remembers your phone number. Like it's almost like psychopath shit. And she's just like the nicest person of all time. And I'm like, what a like I want to be like, how old? I don't know how old she is, but I'm like, how old are you? Why are you working here? And that's nothing against that. I'm like, but you have they have a really good person there.
Yeah.
Like where I would be like, you could work for me.
Yeah.
Because you'd be a great person to make phone calls, meet with people, talk to them. And you notice that. So it's like, I'm more inclined to go to that location and that place when she doesn't work, it's not the same experience. And that's really a rare, especially for like a chain type place.
No,
that's really rare.
It is rare. And that segues into, so Jeremy created the Ultimate Coffee Guide. You also have your Ultimate Restaurant Guide as well, right?
Yeah. It's like it's mostly healthy place, well, healthy in quotations, in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And then like some of our favorite like spots we like to go to as well.
Yeah,
All local shit.
Yeah. And if anybody wants copies of these, just hit me up in the messages or on, social media, and I'll send you out these. These are great. I mean, this is something every location in here is local. So I know Echo is one of Jeremy's favorites, kind of in the vicinity, right? And then we've got Press, one of my clients, Sip, another one of my clients. But it's a really cool thing that Jeremy does that is above and beyond just fitness. It's giving people just ideas to go shop locally and to be a part of community and all those things. So the good job on this. As you can see, I put my coffee on it. And
we got all the digital versions too. If you guys want the restaurant guides or the coffee guides, and a lot of them too are just like. Because we live like Old Town, Arcadia area, so a lot of the places like Heather and I will go that are close to our house that we'll pop in and see that where maybe you guys would never think of them, or you were there 10 years ago and they're like, oh, that's just a really good spot. Like let's stop there and get a chicken sandwich, or like they have really good coffee or whatever it may be.
Yeah, no, that's good info. Before I ask you a few questions to get you out of here, can you just tell from your perspective as far as, and say it's salespeople in insurance, it's people in the restaurant industry that want to, move up and do things. What basically this community that you and I have formed, what do you feel would speak to these people listening, and why they would want to join something like that?
I mean, really, it's all we're doing is just putting a group of just like-minded, like motivated people together, and we just kind of share. We just ask questions really and share best practices about like what we do. I'm not saying I know everything by any means, but I've run a small business for the better part of 2 decades, and it's been, I guess by all measures, successful across the board. And I have a really great network of people, like through like my own podcast. Obviously, we've done about 670 episodes.
It's incredible.
And I've had, I think, 350 plus different guests on there. And you're talking like, 150 different types of doctors, but like whether it be business owners, financial advisors, CPAs, people, professional wrestlers, like literally like anybody and their brother we've kind of had on, and which has allowed me to have this great network of people. And so the one thing I say too, and this goes for the group, like it's one of the reasons like I would struggle to like leave Scottsdale is because I've created this network of people where like I know everybody. And if I don't, it's one phone call away for fucking everything.
Yeah.
And so that's what I can give to everybody else in our circle. So it's like, oh, if I need a plumber, if I need an electrician, if I need a CPA, if I need a tech, like I have everything at my fingertips and we can connect you guys. And it's, I guess if I'd say it for any like entrepreneur, small business person, it's really hard to find good people who are like trustworthy and who are gamers, and we can do that for everybody. And so we can connect you with someone who's already probably doing what you've done in your business, or someone to be a sounding board and kind of connect. Then obviously like I can answer the questions. If it's like, if there's anything I do, well in my business, it's just the consistency of like how we market and like give a shit about people. And I think for most businesses, the two big things that you really would care about is like, hey, how do I get my stuff out there? But then two, the people who are there, like, how do I take care of them? How do I really know them and give a shit about them and like listen to them? And so we just share like what Dave does. We share what I do. And then what I learned from like my own like friend circle who run businesses that are different than ours, but also similar than ours. So it's a really great way to connect and learn. And the free stuff we share in there, I think it's something you could charge for, but it's just stuff you guys get for free, dripped in there every single day.
Yeah, and it's fun. You know, you and I, we've known each other for a long time. We both have, I would consider, successful businesses. We enjoy each other's company, it vibes, and so we want to bring that to others to be a part of that community and share. So. Awesome. That's perfect. All right. I know I got to get you out of here. So real quick, split squats for 20 minutes or 600 assault bike calories.
Like just do straight split squats the entire time?
Yeah. You don't have to do weight though.
I don't know if I could do them for 20 minutes. I'd rather do lunges for 20 minutes straight than because the assault bike for 600 calories is at least, what's like 40 minutes, right?
Unless you're Jeremy Williams.
He's just, it would take me, I mean, I could probably do it in less, but like high 30s.
That's horrible.
And that's like it's uncomfortable. I would rather do lunges for 20 minutes or step ups for 20 minutes or push a sled for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The time thing, the assault bike for 600 calories sucks, dude. That's a shit clip. If you're saying like I could just do it throughout the day.
That's horrible.
If it took me like 2 hours, I don't really care. I would watch a movie or something. But if it was like, I got to do it fast. Like,
you got to do it fast.
It sucks,
yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Go in, do it right. What is victim weight?
I mean, anybody who weighs under 200 pounds, you're a victim, dude. You're just a zebra in the jungle, ready for to be slaughtered by a lion, dude.
I'd die.
You know, I don't know. Like, did I ever send you the clip? No. So it's like this guy. He's like, I don't know him personally. He's got to be like in the powerlifting world. I've seen him before. I don't know if I've ever even met him. Maybe I have. Yeah. But he was like doing this whole spiel, and it was like he had a bunch of tips, and then just out of nowhere, he's like, "Yeah, and if you're under 200 pounds, like you're victim weight." And he was like fucking dead serious. And there is another video too where a guy is talking about it. He's like, "If you're a man and you're under 200 pounds." He basically gave like 50 tips, but all the 50 tips just geared back towards like, you have to weigh over 200 pounds. Like there was no scenario where anything you would do was acceptable. And I'm like, obviously that's ridiculous, obviously, because if you're not a bigger dude, you're just not, it's impossible. Like most people can't, especially when you're older, you probably shouldn't be like over 200 pounds.
Well, you didn't you hit like 203? I think you saw.
Yeah, so I did close. Because we went and did like, well, it really was because for the VO2 max, although like your VO2 max would be higher if you weighed more at the same output. But I knew we were going to go do that. And they did like a DEXA scan, body fat testing at the same time. It's just when you're heavier, it is harder to like, those tests are running. They can do them with anything, but they do put you on a treadmill.
Right.
And it's a bitch to run when you're like even for me at 42 to be 220 pounds is a lot. Like that's just not, I'm still lean obviously, but it's a lot of load. Me like under 210 is like more kind of natural. And then every pound under that, like I have to kind of try. Wow. It's hard because like you want to be muscular, so keep as much muscle as you have as you get older, but then also you don't want it to be like a bunch of excess fat. So it's like this middle ground. But yeah, obviously like me at 2, and again, I'm 6'2", my wingspan's like, 6'4" plus. So it's like I have long limbs. So it's not crazy heavy for me, but yeah, 203, I'm like shredded.
You really shredded on that. Yeah. And that's the thing. It is that balance. Even I like look at it. And so when I was at 8% for my bodybuilding show, I was like, okay, this is horrible. Like I was 139 pounds when we went out to eat dinner a year ago.
That's great. I mean, that's
below victim weight, right?
Yeah, that's like, some women are gonna like tackle you and beat your ass.
My wife.
But that's the thing. Like it's like even like Dave's saying, like it's a hard. There's a balance there, and I tell people, I'm like, is the juice worth the squeeze in terms of your fitness journey or anything, or even like your entrepreneur journey? Like if you need to make $10 million in your business, but your kids hate you and you hate your life, like, is it worth it? Just make $2 million and have everybody love you and enjoy your life. It's the same thing with your body. Like, if you're at 14% body fat and you feel good and you're strong and you can run and you can move and you generally like how you look, like, that's probably healthier than you being at 11% and you're hungry and you're tired and you hate your life and your performance sucks. And so you have to wrap your mind around that. Like everything has an opportunity cost, and nothing is free.
No, 15% is my sweet spot for sure. Hogan or Macho Man?
I love all those guys, but I grew up on Hulk, obviously.
Yeah.
They're all my but again, if I had to pick, like Ultimate Warrior was great, Hogan was great, Macho Man was, dude. That whole era, like Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man was the fucking shit. Jake the Snake, Bruce the Barber Beefcake, Legion of Doom, Big Boss Man. Like that's my whole. When Shawn Michaels is with the Rockers, like him and Marty Jannetty. Like, dude, I grew up on that shit.
Yeah, that was your babysitter.
Yeah, like I watched a little as like Stone Cold and those guys would come on, but like really that era, like Bret the Hitman Hart, like that was really my shit.
It's funny, we have a 10 or a 9 year gap, but it's all the same stuff.
That was like the original, that's golden era.
Would you rather change a bunch of diapers, or would you rather wake up 3 or 4 times during the course of the night?
I would change diapers all day, bro. That's just not hard. The waking up sucks. Yes. I would tell anyone. I don't know. I've only had a kid for half a year, but that's the part that is the toughest. Is like last night he went to sleep finally, then he got up at 11:30 and just like screaming murder. And so you change him like out of his diaper and his onesie and then his sleep sack, and then you put him back in, and Heather will feed him, and then he was up again at 3:30, same thing. And so you're up both times, and it's like by the time I think he pissed through all the stuff that time, so he changed. So he pissed through like 3 outfits, and he pissed into his crib because he got a dick, man. And like sometimes that thing will kind of just move wild. And
he pee on your face yet?
He's pissed, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
he's peed on me. Like I've had a bunch of stuff where it's like the one time we're in San Diego, she's paddleboarding, because when you have a kid, you can't do stuff together. It just doesn't work. And so I'm like, yeah, go paddleboard. Like I'll hang out with them, whatever. And she like sends me a video or a picture of herself paddleboarding. She's like, oh, this is so great. And at the same time, I'm trying to change his diaper, but he had shit his pants. So he'd shit in his diaper, and it's like green shit everywhere. And then he starts kicking his feet, so he gets shit on his little socks. And as he's doing that, he's like laying on this couch, spitting up down. It's going down his neck onto the couch, and then he pees at the same time, like a stream of piss onto the couch in the hotel. Like that's all in the same moment. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is so like. But with that said, I would rather do that 10 times a day versus the waking up multiple times a night, because you basically have like a low grade headache all day.
Yes.
And you feel like your brain's just a bag of shit.
Yeah.
And it's not like if he does that, let's say like I have a pediatrician actually come on the podcast on Sunday. So if he does that Saturday night, it's like I'll work out and then do this podcast, and I'm not that smart to begin with. So it's like, that's the one struggle is the sleeping part. If you can get, and he's been sleeping way better, don't get me wrong. But there's some days where it's just like you're on a journey and he's just going to take you where he wants to go.
Oh man. I never had to deal with that. I inherited my kids at 9 and 11.
It's way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Would you rather, what do you like better? The 0-calorie Monster that you've got me hooked on now, or Powerade?
I drink like the Powerade Zeros every day.
Yeah.
I used to when I was younger. I didn't drink coffee for a huge part of my life. My wife got me addicted to it. But yeah, like back when I'm like in my, like, I call it like my prime, like when we were like really like lifting, doing dumb shit. Like me and my buddy Dave and Ben would train together almost all the time. And man, I would suck down, like just put on Creed and just suck down those white monsters all day. They are good. Like honestly, like I know people like, oh, they're the I get it, man. If you're drinking 10 a day, you're being an asshole. But if that's your thing, like I don't see it having a negative impact. The white monsters do taste amazing.
They're so
like
amazing.
They are fucking good. And they have less caffeine than like I think like a diet soda or most things anyway. So they're not catastrophic. They're 0 calories. But I do drink the Powerades almost every day for like some type of flavor.
Yeah, they need an energy drink called Creed. That'd be amazing. Okay. Actually, South Park had one called Cred. It was a great episode. All right, last question. Would you rather go acquire more property, physical property, or buy more Bitcoin? You got $1 million. What are you doing with it?
I mean, like if it's $1 million only, I probably just do Bitcoin, because what can I buy in Scottsdale for $1 million at this point? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not a house.
no, saying about like it'd be like a condo or two,
Yeah.
but then with the HOA, the taxes, the insurance, whatever the base rent is, like what is my profit margin? And if someone just gave it to me, and my thesis is Bitcoin going to be worth more or less in 10 years than it is today? My thesis is it's worth more.
Yeah.
Even if it just stayed, even if it barely moved, I think you're still in the plus, and there's no maintenance there.
Right.
With that. So I guess I'd have to go. It's which is crazy to say, because like
Who would have thought? Right?
yeah. I mean, if it was, I don't know. I do like the property, and like obviously I like the stuff that we have, but it's like that's shit always breaks. You got to manage it and people and stuff. And like I know it's like Bitcoin is nothing. I'm like, yeah, dude, but so is your money is nothing too.
Yeah,
everything's fake.
That's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, Jeremy. Thank you, JSF, Jeremy Scott Fitness. Thank you for coming on. Everybody, in the show notes, I will have all of Jeremy's, let's just say, website, all his assets, all that sort of stuff. Is there any programs or anything specifically you want to promote right now?
No, all the stuff's on there. I mean, obviously, like if you're in Scottsdale and you guys want help and come in, we got awesome groups, or if it's working with me or one of my team members, we'll be happy to have you. And no matter what fitness level you're at, for the most part, we can probably hook you up. Obviously, the app is everywhere. It's like if you like to work out from home, you're not going to find a better bang for your buck. And I'm not just saying that because it's mine. Like you can try a week for free. If you think it sucks, don't obviously buy it. But there's more shit in there than you'll use in 10 lifetimes. And then we got a bunch of programs that really are done for you, where we walk you through and hold your hand. But this year we have a 50 days of fitness that'll come out at the end of the year. And then we have our Old Man Strength program, which is like our flagship program for dudes over 35. And then the partner to it, it's called Old Man Shredded. That we just made the t-shirts for it like last week.
So cool.
Yeah. So that'll come out early 2026. But anyways, all my weekly workouts are in the app, and there's like 30 different programs for any level. So if you pop in there and you don't know what to do, just shoot me a message. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, and as I continue on with the healing hospitality, again, that's going to be one of the assets that we're going to put on that website. So anybody in the hospitality industry that wants to apply for, a free year membership into the app, the charity is going to be able to take care of that for you. So, by the way. Anyways, thank you everybody for listening. Appreciate it. 175 episodes, not 600 and something.
No, but if you're listening, drop it a 5-star on Apple, and same thing on Spotify, and leave a comment. Don't be a lazy ass man. Just leave a comment, dude.
I was just waiting for that. That's perfect. Yeah. What Jeremy said. So until next time, thank you everybody. Peace out.